You work hard, you earn money, but somehow you still feel financially trapped. That's the reality for millions of people. And according to Rich Dad Poor Dad, the problem isn't your salary. It's what you were taught about money. Most people spend their entire lives following one formula: go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, retire someday. But what if that formula is broken? What if the system was designed to keep you working instead of becoming financially free? That's exactly what Robert Kiyosaki realized when he compared the advice of two fathers. His poor dad was highly educated, hardworking, and respected, but financially struggling. And his rich dad was less educated on paper, but financially intelligent and wealthy. Both men worked hard, but one understood how money actually works, and that changed everything. In this video, you'll learn why the rich keep getting richer, why most people stay stuck paycheck to paycheck, the difference between assets and liabilities, why schools never teach financial intelligence, and a practical 3-week action plan to start changing your financial future immediately. But here's the important part. This book is not about becoming rich overnight. It's about changing how you think about money forever. Because once your mindset changes, your decisions change. And when your decisions change, your future changes. So before we begin, ask yourself one question. If money disappeared from your bank account tomorrow, would your knowledge still help you rebuild your life? That answer determines whether you're financially educated or financially dependent. And by the end of this video, you'll start seeing money in a completely different way. Robert Kiyosaki grew up with two father figures. One was his biological father, the poor dad. He believed in security: study hard, get good grades, find a safe job, avoid risks. And honestly, this sounds like good advice. But despite being highly educated, poor dad constantly struggled financially. Bills stressed him out, debt followed him, and money controlled many of his life decisions. Then there was the rich dad. Rich dad believed something completely different. He said, "The poor and middle class work for money. The rich make money work for them." That one sentence changed Robert's life forever. Rich dad didn't focus only on earning money. He focused on building systems that generated money. While most people work for paychecks, Rich Dad bought assets. And that's the biggest lesson in the entire book. The rich buy assets. The poor buy liabilities they think are assets. So what's the difference? An asset puts money into your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. Simple. But most people completely misunderstand this. For example, a luxury car? Usually a liability. A giant expensive house? Often a liability, because they continuously cost money. But investments, businesses, intellectual property, rental income, those are assets because they generate income. Rich Dad used one example that shocked Robert completely. Most people believe their home is their greatest asset. In fact, most people will tell you buying a house is the smartest financial decision you'll ever make. But Rich Dad disagreed. He asked a simple question. Does your house put money into your pocket every month, or does it take money out? Think about it. Mortgage payments, property taxes, maintenance costs, insurance, repairs. Your home is continuously taking money out of your pocket, which by Rich Dad's definition makes it a liability, not an asset. Now, this doesn't mean buying a home is always wrong. It means most people count their house as an asset on their personal balance sheet, when financially, it's behaving like a liability. A real estate asset looks different. It's a property that someone else pays rent on. Money flows into your pocket every month, even while you sleep. That's the difference. Your house costs you money. A rental property earns you money. Rich Dad said the middle class buys homes and calls it investing. The wealthy buy income-producing properties and actually invest. And this was the moment Robert realized why so many hardworking people who did everything right, bought the house, raised the family, paid the mortgage for 30 years, still ended up financially fragile in retirement. Because they built a life, not a portfolio of assets. Rich Dad explained that financially struggling people often increase expenses the moment they earn more money. Higher salary, bigger house, better phone, more subscriptions, more debt. This creates what Kiyosaki calls the rat race. You work harder just to maintain your lifestyle, and the cycle never ends. That's why many people earning high salaries are still financially stressed. Income alone doesn't create wealth. Financial intelligence does. And Rich Dad believed financial intelligence comes from understanding accounting, investing, markets, taxes, and human behavior. But schools rarely teach these skills. Schools train people to become employees, not owners. That's why so many intelligent people struggle financially. They were taught how to work, but not how money works. And once you understand this lesson, you start seeing the world differently. You stop asking, how can I earn more money? And start asking, how can I build assets that earn money for me? That shift changes everything. According to Rich Dad, fear and ignorance keep most people financially trapped. Fear of losing money, fear of failure, fear of uncertainty. So people choose safety, but ironically, that safety often creates long-term financial risk. Because if your entire life depends on one paycheck, you are financially vulnerable. Kiyosaki says most people become emotionally controlled by money. When they earn more, they spend more. When they feel stressed, they buy things. When they feel insecure, they chase status symbols. And companies understand this psychology perfectly. Advertisements constantly tell you, you deserve this, buy now, upgrade your lifestyle. So people work harder to pay for things they don't actually need. That's modern financial slavery. Rich Dad believed true wealth is not about looking rich, it's about freedom. Freedom to choose your time, freedom to avoid toxic jobs, freedom to spend life meaningfully. And here's one of the most powerful concepts from the book. The rich focus on assets. Everyone else focuses on income. Most people think, if I get a higher salary, my problems disappear. But often their expenses rise with their income. That's why lottery winners sometimes go broke. Without financial intelligence, more money simply magnifies bad habits. Rich Dad also explained taxes differently. Employees earn money first, then pay taxes. Business owners and investors often use legal strategies and expenses before taxes. That's why understanding money matters more than simply working harder. Another key lesson: don't say, I can't afford it. Instead ask, how can I afford it? That small mental shift forces your brain to search for solutions instead of surrendering. Rich Dad constantly encouraged learning, not just formal education, real-world learning, sales skills, communication, investing, negotiation, marketing. Because opportunities often come disguised as problems, and financially intelligent people spot opportunities others ignore. For example, during economic crises, many people panic, but investors search for undervalued opportunities. While average people see fear, financially educated people see possibilities. This doesn't mean taking reckless risks. It means developing knowledge strong enough to handle uncertainty. And one of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting for perfect timing. Perfect timing rarely exists. Most successful people begin before they feel fully ready. They learn by doing. That's why Rich Dad encouraged taking small action early, because experience teaches lessons books alone cannot. At the end of the day, money amplifies who you already are. If you lack discipline, more money worsens the problem. If you understand financial principles, money becomes a powerful tool. And that's why this book isn't just about money, it's about mindset. Now let's turn these ideas into action, because knowledge without implementation changes nothing. This is your practical 3-week Rich Dad, Poor Dad challenge. Small actions, real transformation. Week 1, awareness and money tracking. For the next 7 days, track every dollar you spend. Subscriptions, online shopping, food delivery, impulse purchases. Most people avoid this because it reveals uncomfortable truths, but financial freedom starts with awareness. Rich Dad believed poor financial habits hide inside unconscious spending. At the end of each day, divide your expenses into 2 categories: assets or liabilities. Ask yourself, did this put money into my future or take money away from it? You'll quickly notice patterns. You may realize entertainment dominates your spending. Subscriptions drain money silently. Emotional purchases happen during stress. Next, read or watch something about financial education daily for 20 minutes. Not entertainment, financial learning. Topics like investing basics, compound interest, business models, budgeting, taxes, or side income. The goal isn't perfection, the goal is awareness. Finally, create your first asset goal, not a fantasy, a realistic starting goal. Examples: save money for investing, build a small side hustle, learn a monetizable skill, start a digital product, or create content online. The key is beginning, not waiting. Week 2, build your first asset mindset. This week, stop thinking like a consumer. Start thinking like an owner. Every time you spend money, ask, Will this make me richer later? This single habit can completely change your future decisions. Now identify one skill that can eventually generate income. Examples: video editing, writing, graphic design, coding, content creation, sales, AI tools, or freelancing. Spend at least 30 minutes daily improving that skill, because skills are assets too. Rich Dad constantly emphasized self-investment. Your knowledge can become income for life. Next, reduce one unnecessary expense. Not forever, just temporarily. Take that money and redirect it towards savings, investing, learning, or building something valuable. This trains delayed gratification, a skill most wealthy people master early. Also, begin studying successful businesses around you. Why do people buy from them? What problems are they solving? Rich Dad believed business thinking sharpens financial intelligence. Even observing businesses changes your mindset. Finally, avoid comparing your progress to others online. Many people appear rich while drowning in debt. Real wealth is often quiet. Focus on ownership, not appearance. Week 3. Take real financial action. This week is about execution. By now, your awareness has improved. Now you take your first real steps. First, open a separate asset account, even if it's small. This account is only for future wealth-building activities. Never use it for random spending. Next, start your first tiny investment into yourself or an asset. This could mean starting a YouTube channel, launching a small online page, buying a learning course, investing small amounts consistently, building a digital skill, or freelancing online. The amount doesn't matter initially. Consistency matters more. Rich Dad emphasized starting before feeling ready, because action builds confidence, not the other way around. Then, write your personal definition of financial freedom, not society's definition, yours. Maybe it means freedom from debt, supporting family, flexible time, remote work, passive income, or peace of mind. When your financial goals become emotional and meaningful, discipline becomes easier. Finally, create a long-term asset plan. Write down the skills you'll build, the assets you'll create, the habits you'll improve, and the financial mistakes you'll avoid. This becomes your personal financial blueprint. And remember, Rich Dad, Poor Dad is not telling you to quit your job tomorrow. It's teaching you to stop depending entirely on earned income forever. There's a huge difference. The goal is gradual financial independence, step by step, month by month, decision by decision. Here's the truth most people realize too late. Money problems are rarely just money problems. They're thinking problems. The world changes fast. Jobs change, technology changes, economies change, but financial intelligence stays valuable forever. That's why Rich Dad, Poor Dad continues impacting millions of people decades later, because it teaches a timeless principle. Don't spend your life only working for money. Build assets that work for you. And remember, financial freedom doesn't happen in one dramatic moment. It happens quietly, one smart decision at a time, one habit at a time, one investment at a time, one lesson at a time. The moment you stop buying things to impress others and start building assets for your future, your life begins changing. And maybe the most important lesson from the entire book is this: your most powerful asset is your mind. Because if you develop financial intelligence, you can lose money and rebuild. But if you only depend on income, one crisis can destroy everything. So don't just ask, how much money do I make? Ask, how financially intelligent am I becoming? That question can completely reshape your future. And maybe, years from now, you'll look back at this moment as the day you stopped chasing money and started building freedom.